Hello, online crew. Hope you're doing amazing today. We are talking about content overwhelm today. So, I've got 3 tips that I want to share with you. If you are one of these people that gets really overwhelmed with content creation, you're a fly by the seat of your pants type person. You end up thinking a lot about content, but not creating enough content. So you're thinking about it, the day goes by, and it's like, oh, I didn't post anything. I'll post something tomorrow. Tomorrow comes and goes. You still haven't posted anything, or you think about content all the time that totally overwhelms you that you just want to throw social media away. Does any of that ring true for you? Content creation is probably one of the biggest struggles I find people that are building a business online have. Because it all revolves around content. That's what social media is. It's content. It's showing up. It's either doing lives or posts or stories, short form video, all of the above. It's all content. So whether your social media works very well for you or not, generally comes down to your content. So let's try to make that a little bit easier for you. So I've got 3 main tips that I recommend that you take on board if you want to try to minimize the content creation overwhelm. I hope this is going to be helpful for you. Before we get into that, those of you that are doing the video challenge, loving your videos. You're doing so amazing. So those that have jumped on my 7-day free video challenge, they are learning so much, getting so confident so quickly. It's just amazing. So well done to those of you that are doing the free video challenge at the moment. Keep going. You're just doing such a great job. And for those of you that are in my coaching community, I just finished a training regarding the importance of pinned posts, different types of pinned posts. I've given you notes. I've given you all sorts of strategy, examples. It's all in the notes. So just go over to the coaching community for those of you that are a member over there. Catch the video training and all the notes that go with it. Okay? So let's get into it. Who's here? Say hello. Let me know you're watching live. And indulge me. Like, do you get overwhelmed with content creation? If you do, just say yes. I would love to know. Hello, Anne. Good to see you on. We've got Leonie here. Yeah, you can so relate to this. I'm sure a lot of people, do, Leonie. Pinned post training was great. Thank you for the feedback there, Dean. But when it comes to content creation, 3 main things. And a different strategy for you to think about regarding creating content. We are in, if you're watching my training, you're probably in social selling or network marketing for the most part. That's generally who my audience is. That's what I do. I help social sellers learn social media systems and practical social media trainings. That's what I concentrate on in the coaching community, give you all the practical how-tos to build a business online successfully. So that's kind of what we're here talking about, social selling and network marketing. So in this industry, one of the biggest things that we need to be aware of is that we are in a relationship business. We are very different to bricks and mortar businesses. So when we sell versus somebody with a bricks and mortar business that sell, it's a completely different strategy, especially when you bring that online. So we've got to have, the right kind of strategy to share content when we're in social selling and network marketing, okay? Now, with that becomes this relationship element. People are buying off people. We're in a relationship business first and foremost. So people are buying off you. So you're given the rights to sell somebody else's thing, like you're an affiliate or a business partner or an ambassador or whatever you want to call it in your company, and you're given the privilege to do that. But the network is done through people, not stores, right? We all know that in this industry. But hence the importance of you. It's not the product that's the hero. It's not the business opportunity that's the hero. It's you. So think about that when it comes to content. I'm pretty sure if you're listening to this training or catching the replay, you're living, you're breathing, you get up in the morning, you go about your day, you go to bed at night, you do it all the next day. You're living and breathing and doing things. Okay? So what you want to learn to do when it comes to content regarding, sharing interesting things about you and your business and your products is documenting rather than, I hope this is going to make sense, but documenting rather than crafting. Okay, now what I mean by that is you are going about your day doing things anyway. You're getting ready, you're watching trainings, you're watching this, you're doing things every day. You are probably using your products. If you've got a product-based business, you are building your business, you're sitting at your computer, you're going for a walk, you're walking the dog, you are doing things all day long. So when you think of creating content, think of documenting what you're doing in a day rather than thinking every piece of content on social media needs to be crafted. When you can learn to integrate social media, particularly in your stories, so many of you are not sharing enough of yourself in your stories, just the real, genuine, authentic you. That's what people vibe with you for. We're in a relationship business. People need to get to know, like, and trust you. Not just how wonderful your products are. If all you ever talk about is how wonderful your products are and how wonderful your kind of business opportunity, yeah, you need that type of content. But if they're not getting to know, like, and trust you along the way with that kind of content, then it's going to take you longer to get to the sale at the end of the day. So one of the strategies around making content creation easier is learn to document in your day instead of thinking of all this content that you've got to craft. So as you go through your day, pull out your phone and document what you're doing through your day and whack it in your stories. Whack something in your, on a post. Turn something into a short form video, like a reel. Document your day in what you're doing and share that as content rather than overthinking all these things that you have to create and post. So when you learn to document your day and roll with your day and share what you're doing in your day, rather than thinking about a crafted post or a crafted reel or a crafted story all the time, you will end up creating more content a lot easier. Are you with me? Does that make sense? Most of you are overthinking content about what you should post, or what should I post to get a customer? What can I post to get a team member? You're thinking about how to craft posts all the time instead of just documenting your day. You can create a hell of a lot of content if you just pull out your phone as you are doing things in your day. I know it's weird and some of you, might feel strange about this, but, if you've seen reels and things like that where people are in their bathroom, they're getting ready in the day and they're just talking. Mel Robbins does it amazingly. And that's why she's a multiple millionaire who comes up with all these books and things, and that's because she just talks while she's doing things. I don't know if I'll ever come to the day where I actually pull out my video when I'm in bed. Not a good look. But, she does things like that. Like, she'll just pull out her phone. I saw one of hers the other day. She was in the shower. I'm like, are you serious? She was testing some kind of theory about stress and whatever. And it was some kind of scientific thing. And it was a strategy that she was doing in the shower. And was it yelling at the shower? I think it was yelling certain words against the wall in the shower, and it helps reduce stress or something like that. I'm like, oh God, she's done a video and she's literally in the shower. Like that's confidence. I will admit. I don't know if I'd ever do a reel from my shower, but what she does so well is she just documents her day and shares tips and strategies and things that she's doing while she's doing her day. So Take some of the overwhelm out of content creation and learn to document rather than craft and create all the time. Okay, you'll produce so much more content when you stop overthinking it. Okay, that's number one. Number two, yes, great comments, Leonie. It makes so much more sense. A great way to put it, Dean. Don't create the content, become the content. So just learn to document more rather than craft it all the time. And yes, Beth, we are the content. Share things in our daily life. People are curious, and you would be surprised about what people are curious about. Reels that have got movement in them, like if you're walking, if you're getting ready, if you're doing something, you're making a drink, you're doing some food, but you're actually talking about something totally unrelated to what you're doing. That's what creates curiosity. So if you can get into your stories and make your drink or your shake or your meal or your whatever, and you actually talk about something that you're doing in your day and it's totally unrelated to what you're doing, perfect. Okay, so you can create more content and create curiosity about what it is that you do and you use, especially if it's product based, just by documenting what you're doing. Okay, so that's much easier. Like I can, like make up my drink and talk about my. I love this cup. I drink about 3 of these a day. It's just been amazing for me. I can make up stuff and just talk about something completely different. I can also create content where I can make it up and talk about this, what's in it and whatever. So you mix it up. Okay. So that's number one. Think about documenting instead of always kind of creating. Okay. Number two, you've just got to know to your core. Just know to your core who you help and what you help them with. Who do you help? And it's not everyone. It's not people. It's not individuals. Any of you that have done any branding training, you don't talk about people, individuals, or everyone. You talk about a certain age bracket. You talk about, a certain sector of the population that's struggling with something in particular. Like you're talking to those people that are struggling with X, Y, Z. Like you've got to know who you're talking to. Not all the time on a personal profile. This is where you're creating content, that is related to what you sell and what you do. Like who are you actually talking to, and call them out. Like talk to that person. If you want to talk to mum, say, hey, if you're a mum out there, or for me, if you're like me suffering with perimenopause or menopause out there, like talk to those people and call them out and have a conversation with them. Like just make it easier for yourself and by attracting the right people to you and putting the right kind of content out there, and talk to your people. So just know who is your people. So yes, we're going to, on a personal profiles and things like that, we're going to have other people that are there. But the more you talk to the people that you want to talk to and you call it out and you create content for them, you'll attract more people to, like the content will become easier when you really know who it is that you're talking to and you call them out. But you mainly talk about the problems that you solve for people and do that through your story. There is nothing more powerful than your story. So what's your story? Own your story, live your story, create your story, share your story, no matter how boring you think that is. Like when you learn to do number one, which is document instead of create, and you know the journey that you're on and whatever, you just share it. Like content becomes a lot easier when you just share your journey. Stop thinking that you have to be successful. Stop thinking that you have to, if you're on a weight loss journey, that you're already there. You've got to share the ups and the downs and the good and the bad and the things that you're learning. You're all learning. We are all learning every day. We never stop learning. The minute you stop learning, you're dying. Okay? So what are you learning in your topic of what you help people with? Like find information off Google or YouTube or gurus or people you follow and just share a little tip with your audience that relates to a problem that you can help solve. So just don't overthink the content creation. Share your journey and story more in relation to who you're talking to and what problems you help them with, and it will become more natural for you to share that type of content. Like some of you are thinking too strategically, or you're too caught up with how do I share a piece of content that gets me a customer or gets me a team member. You don't want to think like that. It's like, how do I just share my journey with what I'm doing and how I'm helping myself? And you will find when you share more of your journey and how you're helping yourself, you will indirectly help other people along the way. So don't overthink that and don't overlook that. Okay, content will become easier when you just get better at sharing your journey and share your story. I watched a video of a girl yesterday, and the whole part, it was just an Instagram live, but the whole part of the beginning of her video was just like her story and how she had a problem and now she's resolved it and all the issues she had that she doesn't have now. And I was glued to it. It was her story. It wasn't all about the benefits of the product. She got to that. But the beginning of it was all about her and what she struggled with and what she doesn't struggle with anymore. Like, your story is the most powerful thing that you can share in relation to content. So just know, what's your story? Are you still creating a story? Are you on the way to something, whether that's business or product? Share the journey along the way. Okay, it makes content a lot easier when you actually share the journey in real time when you're documenting your day, because people are watching you. And on a classic example of this is my TikTok last year. When I lost all that weight and I got on day one and said, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm unhappy. I know I've got inflamed body, and body. I've now got lupus. According to the numbers, I'm actually majorly overweight. I'm going to do something about it. And I did. And every day I showed up sharing kind of good days, bad days, what I was eating, what I was learning, sharing tips and stuff like that. And I had people eating out of the palm of my hands and customers. Like, I've never had that many customers just because I was sharing my journey. And the content was the easiest to create of all content I've ever created on social media, because it was just me. It's just me and my journey. You can't argue with your journey. You can't argue with your story. So stop trying to over complicate content and just share the journey that you're on, whether that's business or product. Just let the walls down, guys. Stop overthinking content and share more of you. And I know that's hard for some of you and it requires you to get a little bit more vulnerable. But if you want more results in your business, this is kind of the stuff that works. Okay? Now, the last one to top all of that off. So the first one is you're learning to document more with your life. The second one is, who do you help? What do you help them with? What's the journey you're on? What's the story that you're telling? Like, speak to the people that will relate to the story that you're on and the journey that you're on. The third one is, okay, let's get a little bit organized and have a little bit of a plan as how we're going to create that content. Where are you going to create content? How often? Some of you are on too many platforms. I'm trying to reevaluate at the moment. I've got so much going on. I've got a personal profile. I've got Instagram. I've got TikTok. I've got 2 Instagram channels. I've got Facebook groups. I've got a business page. I've got 2 business pages. I've got so much going on. And it's like, Helen, you need to streamline all of this. And I'm trying to still work that out at the moment because I've got 2 brands. I've got the business one, which you're listening to here. I'm live on Instagram talking about this. I'm live, on my page and my group. But I've also got a whole nother brand in relation to weight loss and menopause and mental wellness and all that kind of stuff. And I've got a Facebook page to do with that. I've got a TikTok channel to do with that. And I've got Instagram to do with that. Like, that's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with. So I'm like, how do I streamline this? But my point is, the more that I just share my journey, the easier that is, rather than when I overthink that many channels and that many platforms and all the rest of it, and I'm trying to craft all the content, it's totally overwhelming. When I just share more of me, what I'm doing, what's happening, and I've done it a lot more lately. I'm just getting into my stories and I'm just talking and sharing and just like I'm documenting more of my day than trying to overthink what I should post. It's becoming a lot easier. Okay, so what's your plan? Okay, how are you doing that? What are you coming up with? When you know who you help and what you help them with, like you've got a concept there and a bit of a branding message, then you can use something like ChatGPT to rework like a post. You could write a great post or a short form reel, whatever, and throw it into something like ChatGPT and give me 10 different versions of the same concept and the same strategy that I've written in this post. So like get smarter about the actual creation of the content. Know exactly where you're showing up and where you want to show up. Like if you're going live, how often are you going live? Where are you posting when, how can you repurpose? If you've got a short form video, can that short form video work on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Like you just got to have some kind of plan. If you wing it and you're a fly by the seat of the pants type of person on social media, you will get burnt out. If it's not now, it will be in a few months' time. Like to make, content, creation, like to minimize that overwhelm, you've got to sit down maybe one day a week for a few hours and just write, okay, where am I posting? How often? What's that going to look like? What content do I need to come up with? Or I need another version of that, or I want like the same message. Because at the end of the day, if you've got a product that you're selling or a business opportunity you're selling, you still got a very similar message with what your product does. So that's where ChatGPT or your AI software, I've got a different one that I use, which is amazing. But, whatever you use can help you create similar versions of content without you having to think about it. Like creating content on social media is so much easier today than it was, even a year or two ago. You've got so many tools at your disposal. But you have to give yourself a little bit of space in your day to sit down and go, okay, I've got to create some content. Where am I showing up? How often am I showing up? What am I going to talk about? Like have a bit of a plan. When you get that plan and you kind of execute it, it's so freeing rather than flying by the seat of your pants, which is exhausting. So do yourself a favor and at least, I haven't got it. I've got to bring down one downstairs here. Just even like those of you in the coaching community, I've got how to create a month's worth of content in an hour or less. I've got that training. So if you're in the coaching community and you haven't seen that training, go and watch that training. And you literally map out 30 days worth of training, like in an hour or less, like the concept of it. So that's the kind of thing you want to do. You just want to grab like a month's calendar, print it out from your from Google or whatever, just type in the month that is a calendar and get a blank sheet of paper and just have some strategy around it. You could theme your days, you could theme your weeks, but have some kind of plan. That's training for another day. And I know I'm just touching the surface here, but if you really want to minimize content creation overwhelm, you might need to be a little bit more organized than you currently are. And just trust me, when you are, you will feel a lot calmer about being in this big world of social media because you'll have some kind of organization to it. And like time block a certain day for a few hours just for content creation and just have some thought to it. Because your week will just flow. I know when I go into a week and I know exactly what I'm talking about on my live videos for that week, then I just turn up here a couple of minutes before I got to go live. I know what I'm talking about. I've got my notes written, but I wrote these notes 4 days ago. Okay, they're just handwritten notes. It doesn't take me long. I know that I'm talking to you tomorrow about non-negotiable types of content. If you're in social selling or network marketing, they're non-negotiable types of content that you should be putting out there on social media. I already know that's what I'm talking to you tomorrow about. I've already got my notes written. So, and I already knew my video from 2 days ago, which you should watch if you have not watched it. I already had all of that mapped out. I knew my 3 live videos for the week. I've written all my handwritten notes, and then they just sit next to my computer before I'm ready. So I go into my week knowing exactly what I'm going to talk to you about. All my notes are written. So I just turn up and I do it. Do you know how freeing that is? Rather than the night before going, oh, what am I going to talk about in my live video tomorrow? Oh, I've got to research something. And then I've got to write some notes for it. And then the next day I do the same thing again. Like, oh, what am I going to talk about on my live video tomorrow? I better go and research something. And then I've got to go and write some notes. Like if you're going to do something like I do, like 3 live videos a week, and I'm not saying you need to do that, but do it all in one. Like Do you see where I'm coming from? With just like I make that time available to myself, and I time block it to plan my content for the week so I can go into my week with ease and flow. If I do it all the night before, like, what am I going to, like, it's just too time consuming. Multitasking is not a good thing. If you're going to write an engagement post for a week, write, just instead of coming up with one, come up with 4, and there's one a week for the next month. Awesome. So don't just write 1, write 4. So just get smarter with your time to eliminate content creation overwhelm. Okay. How many of you need some work in that area? Put a number 6 down below in the comments if that's you. Like, it's just like, yeah, I know I need to probably put a little bit more effort into time blocking for content creation, because I know that it's going to actually save me a lot of time later down the track as I'm trying to create content every day. Like, when you concentrate on doing it all at once, you actually save yourself time and a hell of a lot of stress in your head when you're organized ahead of time. Like, just do yourself a favor and get a little bit more organized, and use resources like AI tools and ChatGPT to help you create the content as well. Okay. We got 1-6. Only one person of everybody watching needs to do a better job. Oh, we've got 2. Okay, I'll leave it there. So as I just said, tomorrow at the timing of this live training, I am talking about the non-negotiable types of content that, if you're in network marketing and social selling, that you should be putting it out there regularly to help you build your business. So make sure you join me at the same time tomorrow. Okay, I'll catch you then. Hope this was helpful. Bye.